TM Hyman. Leadership on Demand is the podcast, and I'm excited about having our next guest. Listen, I met her on Clubhouse. And if you don't know what Clubhouse is, you must be sleeping under a freaking rock. And what I do understand is there's a lot of people who are sleeping under rocks. Because there's a lot of folks who have no idea what a clubhouse is. But let's get right to it. Listen, she is a social media master, in my opinion. She is helping thousands of people to level up when it comes to their social media account. And she's the only person that I've ever heard flat out tell someone, guess what? Your IG account is trash. Please welcome Rocki to Leadership. Man, you are the first person unapologetically that I've ever heard tell somebody straight up, listen, your problem is your account is trash. My friends. Rocki, what's going on? How are you?
Hello. I feel so it's kind of embarrassing, but it's with good purpose. But hi, I'm excited about today's talk, and I'll have to explain why I say that later.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's dive in. Introducing you to some, reintroducing you to others. Let's go.
Hi you guys. So my name is Rocki. I am an Instagram marketing strategist and a social media manager. I've been managing accounts and marketing for 9 years. I have my bachelor's in business admin and marketing, and I recently am now enrolled in my master's in entrepreneurial business. Like, marketing is in my blood, specifically for Instagram, and I'm very passionate about helping businesses build their brand awareness, make sales, and do things right on Instagram.
Brand awareness. Listen, I don't think we understand the significance of brand awareness. Can you define like branding? We hear personal brand, business brand, branding, now brand awareness. Like, what's the difference? Define it from your perspective.
So for me, brand awareness is pretty much letting everybody know about your business. Is your messaging. Okay. It's your messaging to make sure that what you say and what you do matches, but also the awareness part of it is getting yourself out there to as many people as possible. Because in reality, without the awareness of your brand, not many people will come to you and purchase from you. Like, they'd rather just run out and go to the store. But when your messaging is correct and people know who you are, your values, your morals, etc., they'll want to buy from you regardless of what it takes, whether it be waiting for your services or working with you right away, because you've built that loyalty. So really wrapped around messaging, and it's the fancy stuff too. It's the fonts and the colors and the attractiveness of it, but ultimately all of that comes together so where you can build up your brand to where it serves people and it attracts people to your business.
Thank you for that. When I think of social with Rocki, when I think of your personal branding, I think colorful. I think pink. Just off of consistency with your post, right? I think unicorns when I think of Rocki. Is that about right? Is that intentional?
Yes, very intentional. I feel like, I've had some things happen in my past where I was completely shut in from, being myself. So domestic violence, trauma, and then I jumped into the military, and the military is very restrictive as well. Like, you can't do what you want to do, wear what you want to wear. They're a lot more loose now, which I'm in my feelings about that, but it is what it is. They got to move with the times. But there's a lot of things that I couldn't do. So finally, when I was able to do what I wanted to do, I'm like, oh, I'm going to be this colorful person that has been like dying on the inside. So that is my brand, but also I want to attract the same people. I want to work with high energy people, vibrant people, open people. So I designed my brand to attract the same people that are just like me. That way I can work with who I want to work with.
How important is just that, your brand being curated for your target audience? You just said, so I think a lot of us business owners, right? We say, I hear this often, and I know it today not to be true, that everybody's my customer. Everybody is my customer, right?
Right.
Far from the truth. How important is your branding specific to the people that you want to attract, your tribe?
It's very important because the messaging piece of this, and this goes really deep into like background marketing that no one does anymore. I feel like SWOT analysis and your competitors and stuff like that, but shaping your brand to just the specific people that you want to work with is important, not only for the communication piece and, you know, the being congruent in how you work together, but aligning yourself with who's going to represent you well in the back end. I oftentimes think about, when it comes to my messaging, the clients that I work with, if they're like me, then after we work together, they're going to give me the best testimonials and sing my high praises, versus attracting someone that is not my ideal customer and working with them anyway, and them, us not having a good relationship, and then it being, you know, bad on the back end. So everyone is not your ideal customer and client. So you must really know like who you want to work with, who you don't want to work with, what products you want to sell to these people and whatnot. Also, more specific you can get with who it is that you serve, I feel like you attract the more sales, because it's that exact person, versus just kind of throwing it out there and seeing, you know, who's going to like get it just to get it.
Yeah, because everyone is not our customer. What I really appreciate and respect a whole lot about you, Rocky, is you are very direct, and you don't mind putting it all out there. You know, you just mentioned, right, domestic violence. You mentioned the military, not being able to do what you want to do. I think when it comes to branding and messaging, we are way too cautious. We're way too cautious, right? We
Yes.
want to curate our messages only to highlight the good stuff. And you have been very intentional about highlighting it all. Have you
Yes.
always been comfortable with that, or did you learn that that was important?
I just got tired. I looked at the market and I looked at a lot of businesses and a business coaches, and I just felt like they were too nice. I feel like people, not that you have to be mean, but I feel like there's a lot of sugarcoating going on,
Right.
and sugarcoating doesn't make you move anywhere. You need someone to tell you that you have not been doing this right in your business, or you're not attracting people because your content is trash. Um, you need people to tell you like it is, and that is the truth. One of my favorite people is David Goggins, and in his book, You Can't Hurt Me, he said, I looked at myself in the mirror and he said, I'm fat. He said he had to tell himself that he was fat in order for him to change. And I feel like in order for us to really change and actually put in the work, people need to be honest with you. And I do say this from an opinion. I tell them it's very much my opinion, but I can also give you results on how, if you change it, it'll work. Because, you know, people, they will say it's a matter of opinion. You think my content is trash, but it's not. But when I say it, I think a lot of people that know me know it's a blanket thing to saying, hey, you need to adjust a little bit. Not based on my opinion, but based on what you said your business is supposed to be, because your content isn't matching that. So it's not even really about what I think. I'm looking at the bigger picture, and the math isn't mathing.
You have helped us to understand how to apply hashtags as a part of your services. You do coaching, you do digital products like do it yourself, you do group sessions.
Mm-hmm.
And then you just told me that you just started your account management. So, you know, tell us exactly what you do and how people can get connected. How can we follow you?
Yeah, so I do all of those things. Right now, it is the management piece, because what I'm learning is I can teach and coach all day long, but it's so much to do that people, they don't do it. They don't take action, or they don't know where to start. So although people are continuing to purchase my products, learn what they need to learn, it wasn't all coming together. And what I really realized when I started offering this service is people just want it done. Like they don't either have the time to do it themselves, or they don't have the knowledge, and in the knowledge of learning. Like it took me 9 years to learn this like the back of my hand. So I can only imagine, like, a business owner doesn't have time to learn things in 9 years, especially when it's all changing. So right now, management is a big piece. The coaching is for my go-getters, the ones that do want to do it themselves. And I rushed 9 years into, like, I think 12 sessions for them. And then I am having my membership site reopened with a much easier, it's an easier package, much lighter fees for the people that want to just consume the information and learn as they go. So those are the three main things that I'm offering.
Nice. And how can those of us follow you who are not already following you?
Aha, go to Social with Rocki. I'm laughing because I never send people to my website. I always send them to Instagram because I'm literally in there all day long. So Instagram, but everything is Social with Rocki. If you Google Social with Rocki, I'm on multiple pages. It's my website, it's my Facebook, it's everything. So
And she comes up because she's like the only one out there.
yeah.
We know who this Rocky is. Don't know who the others are, but we know who this Rocky is. Let's get social. Rocky, who has been your greatest teacher in life?
Oh man, my greatest teacher in life. That's a good question. I honestly, and it may seem like a blanket answer, I want to say my mom. My mom has been my greatest teacher in life because I've seen her, she's a nurse, and I've seen her hustle through nursing. She's worked in nursing. She's went to school while she was nursing. I saw her do that. She took care of us very well. And also, most recently, she's had a lot of trials and tribulations, and she's still the strongest, sweetest person in the world. Like I know, for a fact, me watching her growing up, as I was growing up, watching her conquer different things and just surpass them, but being a great person regardless. She never treats anyone bad because of how she feels, unless, she's not a pushover, don't get me wrong. But just watching her handle stress and handle controversy and, meet her goals regardless has really helped me out. And I literally turned into a mini her. So yeah, I would have to say my mom.
Thank you for that. Name one thing that you have not accomplished yet that you want to do. You've done a lot. I mean, you've done a lot, and you're still like aiming. But what's one thing that you have not done yet that you would really love to accomplish?
Huh. I My big audacious goal is to develop a teen center for girls, preferably juniors and seniors in high school, because when I started to fall apart and go through things, it was during that time. That's a very awkward time for young girls because we are growing into our own. We're maturing. There's puberty. There's boys. There's everything, but we don't want to talk to our parents because we're either embarrassed or we don't want to be judged or whatever the case is. So for me, it's building out a teen center with female mentors that can help young girls to, so they can talk to us and, based on our experience. And these mentors that I have that I would want on my program would be people that have been through things. So we can say, yeah, we know exactly what you've been through. I don't want, degreed counselors that just know the book stuff. I want people that actually experienced it. So for me, that's my whole thing, is building out this teen center for girls, because I was a teen girl and I went left and was traumatized for life, and I would not want that to happen to them.
That's awesome. I'm not sure I have ever heard that goal before, so I'm glad I just asked that question. You just mentioned mentors, and I absolutely understand the power of mentoring as America's favorite mentor. I have had the pleasure of mentoring you and working with you, but I've also had the pleasure of being mentored. Right, I'm currently in
Mhm.
Grant Cardone's mentoring program. Like Glenn
Ah.
Lundy is a mentor, right? And
Mhm,
I have
mhm.
many other mentors, right? How important is mentoring from your perspective?
Oh my God, it's so important. I can speak of our experience specifically because you were actually my first mentor. Accountability. Like a lot of us are not self motivators. We're not self starters. We need someone to constantly beat on us and tell us what to do. Not only that, you don't know what you don't know. And even if you do know something, there's always a bunch of different ways to approach it based on life. So, I go after people that I know have been through some things and know how to structure things, because I'm very bad at structuring an organization too. So for me, it helps them, like, we're like this all over the place. We just got a bunch of ideas, but your mentor is one that will line things up for you, give you a path, encourage you, not step on you, and just kind of hold your hand and guide you through a process. And the best part about it is they let you do, your thing, but they're going to knock you back on track when need to be knocked back on track. So they don't restrict you, but they also are just going to remind you of your goals so that you can keep doing what you're supposed to be doing.
Yeah. What was one of the most frustrating or challenging or or motivating parts of our mentoring together? Because we went on a roller coaster ride.
Yeah. For me, it was the
I'm extremely, extremely proud of you today because you've done the work and you're constantly seeking out people to help you do the work. But yeah. What was the moment for us?
I think I'll go with both. So the most frustrating part for me was um letting someone lead, especially when it's your industry, because it's like, this is my industry. They don't know anything about this or whatever. So just hearing someone like coach you in your industry. I mean, it's not directly in it, but it's your business part is kind of hard. And I'm hard headed anyway. Like my dad always told me I'm hard headed. Like I want to do things my way. So so sometimes you would say things and it would be a lot. And I'm like, oh my God, this is a lot, and I'm like, I can't do this. Like I would freak out. I'm like, I can't do this. It's a lot. But you had to constantly remind me. My favorite part about the mentorship is having someone to go to get me in line, and I've been through some things and I would call you. I'd be like, TM, blah, blah, blah. And you would tell me what I didn't want to hear, but I would listen anyway. I would listen anyway. But the fact of having someone that knows you and you can call them anytime and say, hey, like I'm having this struggle, like what is going on with me? That was like my favorite part.
Thank you for sharing that. I think allowing anyone to lead is a problem, right? I find it in when I observe even relationships with people who are married, right? It's hard for them to allow each other to lead one another, right? And they're in a bona fide union. And so,
Yeah.
absolutely, it's hard to let go. And so, I totally agree. Yes, you are hard headed, right? But the flip side of that for me is you know what you want, you know what you like, you know what works for you, and you know what doesn't work for you. And I think that's important because
Mhm.
sometimes people can lead us down a path that we don't want to go, we don't like it, but we'll go anyway, right?
Yes.
Whether it's good for us or not. And so I think you certainly I think were a challenge and probably still is a challenge. Because you have vision. You
I
have
am.
vision. And, and, and you're not new to this, right? You make real money in this. So I think it's a challenge when you're already successful, but you're trying to go to the next level. And so what I appreciate about you is that one, you got 11 freaking businesses, first of all, right? 11,
It's
if not
probably like 13 now.
right? More now, right? But you are very intentional about working on what works best for you, right? And so you've been able to streamline some things. You've been able to pick up more followers, more clients. You have more work than you know what to do with, right? We talked about building a team last year, and
Yes.
now you're at the point where it's not even an option anymore, right? You must build a team. As we wind down 2022, but 2023 is going to be like unbelievable for you. Unbelievable.
Yeah, I'm excited.
You should be. Now, Rocky, last year when we started our partnership, the number one goal was to quit your job and become a full-time entrepreneur by the end of 2022.
Yes.
And not only did you smash that goal, right? I mean, you were full-blown self-employed. Was it October or November?
I think it was November.
November of 2022. What has that experience been like? You made the leap. You made the jump. What has
Yeah.
that been like for you?
Um, Not like I expected. I was so excited about being a full-time entrepreneur that I didn't think about the other things, I guess. So love working for myself. It's literally like they say though, where it's like a roller coaster going up and down, up and down. So sometimes you have sales, sometimes you don't. What I learned is financially, I have to budget now. Like I can't just get my sales and spend my money. I have to budget because I have to work things out, because you don't know if the next month is going to be like the previous month. I had to realize that I needed a schedule, because we worked on a schedule because I was literally all over the place, to include a social life and personal growth and stuff like that, not just business. I also learned that I missed like my coworkers. Like, even though I didn't like my job, I missed, going in every day, sitting and talking with people. So I joined, I'm not in the car club any further, but at the time I joined the car club, and now I'm doing a lot of community events because I miss being around people, because as an entrepreneur, you can cocoon yourself into a room. Like, I have a home office, but cocoon yourself in and not doing anything. So I just recently started going to the library and doing things, and going to different events and doing things, just to have that ability to see people. And the last thing is community. Like, I definitely depend on my community for support a lot more. It's not like I can just walk up to my boss and say, hey, I need help. It's just me. So I've had to go to people that are like either in my industry, or people like you, or other business owners for support, because it's a whole thing. And a lot of people don't know this. You work a lot more as an entrepreneur. You can't clock out, really. I mean, it's like an all day thing, especially with me managing accounts. I'm literally managing all day. So I work from like 4 a.m. to like 8 at night, sometimes 9 at night, and the weekends. So you work a lot more.
You talked about the military. You talked about some domestic violence issues you've been able to work through. You have 3 grown, almost kids, right? That
3
you
adults.
navigate to support, right? 3 full-blown adults, right? But you also have degrees, and business. You're very astute when it comes to business. You're a leader, right? You're not just, it's not just the social media thing, right? I mean, you have a strong voice. You have effective business acumen, right? What are some attributes of a great leader from your perspective?
Whew, that's good. I like that question. The ability to communicate correctly. I mean, you opened up the interview with me being harsh, and I am very harsh and stern, but everyone knows I'm like loving as well. Like, it's
Yes,
not a rah, it's like I'm saying it from a loving perspective. So communication is really important. Empathy is very important as well.
yes,
When people know that you've been where they are, and that's why you're so passionate about what you do, it's a different scenario than me just pushing information in your head. A
absolutely.
lot of business owners, we actually all follow the same type of path, regardless of how it is. We all kind of follow the same path. So having that empathy, and having the ability to listen to people. Leadership isn't about talking the whole time. Like, I've learned that the reason why I've been able to land all these clients is because in my sales calls, and you knew I hated sales calls, so I've been doing sales calls.
Yes,
I listen. I listen a lot more than anything, because I want to know, I actually care about what you want. Like, it's not about what I want. I can want things for you, but I want to know what you want so that you can meet your goals. So, listening. And one more thing is, what I learned is being a leader, like, even when you're not pushing out the leadership thing, people are just following you. Like, you're influencing people all over the place, and you haven't even talked to them yet. Like, they're just watching you from the outside, and all of a sudden, people call me an influencer today, and I still don't believe it or accept it. I don't know why. I'm just like, what? Like, no, I'm just Rocki. And they're like, no, you're like a Clubhouse influencer, and you're an Instagram influencer. And I'm like, nah,
you are.
I just don't see it yet.
Yeah, yeah,
But I mean, I know to them that's exactly what I am.
yeah. No, and not only to them, like to me, right? And others like myself who are on Clubhouse, who are making an impact, making a difference. You are absolutely making a significant impact, and you're making a hell of a difference, right? You're educating people, you're helping people to level up. Like, I'm in rooms. So, I mean, I'll tell you one of the most impressive things that I have experienced, and it's been quite a few things as it relates to your space in your room. But
Mhm.
the audits, the account audits, are freaking unbelievable, right? Tell people what I'm talking about when I reference the audits.
Yes. So with the audits, what we do is we look at business owners' Instagram accounts, but we're focused on the business part of it, right? So, Instagram is important, but you can't say that you want to make sales when we're looking at your account and there's no link to a sale. Like there's no content talking about what you sell. So with our audits, we literally sit people down, first ask, what are your business goals? And then when we ask, what are your business goals? We want to make sure that your Instagram account aligns with what you say your business goals are. And it's funny because a lot of times people, it's like a click in their head, like, oh my God, why didn't I think about this? But I think it's because they're so wrapped up in business. They don't we miss all the little things. So it's just us literally connecting the dots for them and then giving them some instructions so that they can do the work.
We talk about Clubhouse a lot. We're on Clubhouse every day.
All day.
You have done extremely well on Clubhouse when it comes to growing your business, growing your clients. For people who have no idea what Clubhouse is, help them to understand why they should be on Clubhouse right now.
Oh man, I love Clubhouse. First of all, it's social audio, so you don't have to show your face. It's a great tool for learning. Like video and voice are the fastest way to get information. Even if you're not on stage and you're just a listener, get a notepad, take notes. People give good advice. If you're someone that is a leader and a business owner, have a room, have a club, and advice your tips and your values. Because for me, it's been to grow the know, like, and trust factor the fastest way. As soon as you give somebody some advice, they take it, implement it, see results, they're going to purchase and buy from you. So that has been huge in my business, is making sales off of there, but also building community and relationships on there as well. It's just much faster. There's people that I've met, like when I met you in person, it's like, you're real. It's like this great experience because it's like we've known each other for a long time, but we've never met in person. But hearing the voice, it allows you to be non-judgmental, literally get to know that person for who they are. And then when you meet them, it's just like this great experience. So I love that.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I would have to concur. So I live in Atlanta. Rocki lives in Williamsburg, Virginia, but I'm from Hampton Roads. And so Williamsburg is outside of Hampton Roads just a little bit.
I always say we're a part of it.
Rabble. Well, yeah, I would say, yeah.
It's an argue for life. I don't know.
Yeah, it's a little far, but I wouldn't disagree. But I literally, when I traveled to Virginia last year, I think it was maybe around the holidays. I drove up to Virginia Beach. I drove up to Williamsburg and met Rocki in person, and it was pretty euphoric. Right? Because again, when you only are used to hearing people's voice, and for me, I hear voice and I see all of the variations of her colorful hair. Like she trades this hair out on on Clubhouse, maybe twice a day. You'll see a different hairdo from Rocki. And so to see the vibrant her, on the app, and then to see it in real life, it was absolutely euphoric. Rocki, what is one thing very few people know about you?
And you're gonna be like, what? So I actually have social anxiety. I knew I was gonna get that face. I actually get really nervous. If you put me on a stage to speak to people all day long, I can do that. And I realize it's with the car events and stuff, if you put me out in networking events where there's a lot of people and I have to talk, I'm nervous, I'm shy, I don't want to speak to nobody. I'm thinking about what they're thinking about me, I'm insecure, I just have this social. I know it's weird because I'm such a type of person, but I get a little nervous.
Okay, you know what? Okay. I mean, I'm surprised to hear you say that, but I'm not totally shocked by it. Not totally shocked by it. But maybe I am. Maybe
A lot of people are. They're like, what? How?
I'm
Now,
a little shocked by that.
don't get me wrong, because once you start talking to me, it's like, woo, like I'll start talking, but I'm not going to be the first to like, yeah.
As you are building your team, as you're building your team with so many new clients and people who are expressing interest, like how would you describe your leadership style?
Um,
I describe mine as a servant leader, right? Servant
mhm.
leadership is absolutely my thing. But how would you describe your style?
I harp on, I would say, I don't even know if this is a word, but individualistic. Like I harp on individuality. So with my team that works with me now, I want you to do things your own way.
Hmm?
We'll test it out that way. If it works, great. If not, we're going to do it my way. So I absolutely let them do them. As long as it's not damaging my client's account or anything,
Yeah.
the way that they want to do it. So I wouldn't say, for example, for me, I'll engage 9, 12, 3, and 5. But if you feel like, no, I don't want to engage at those times because of another reason, then go ahead, do your thing and we'll see what happens. If not, we're going to go back to my way. But I do encourage individuality and creativity because I think as a leader, you're working for me, but I want you to go do your own thing eventually too. Like I want you to have your own business as well.
Absolutely.
So it's like developing them for their own stuff too.
Yeah. No, which is awesome, right? I think when people know that you have their best interest at heart, and you want to see them grow and do better. One, it's great from a rapport building perspective, right? Because employee friendly environments are the most effective environments. But I think
Mhm.
I totally understand what you just described. I mean, an environment where individuality is respected and you challenge people to put their best foot forward, right? Try it. Try it. And for me,
Mhm.
I love to try things, test things. I'm not afraid, but let's fail fast. If it's not going to work, right? Let's find out quickly and
Yes.
regroup quickly. Regroup quickly.
Yeah,
Thanks
because
for
I'm not the type to let things drag on. Like if I see it's not working, like we're gonna cut this
let's
off.
fail fast. Let's fail fast.
Yeah.
Absolutely, Rocky. What is like the most adventurous thing you've done? Most
Oh God. So like in life or in business?
advice,
The most adventurous thing I've done is the flying trapeze. So I went
like in the
to when I was
circus.
I'm sorry?
Like in the circus.
Not in a circus. It was like a test and try type of thing. Like they had it. I went to Club Med in Ishigaki Island. So I was stationed in Japan and there's an island called Ishigaki Island. I hate planes for one. We were in this little crop duster of a plane, landed in a field. But when we got there, it was so beautiful. So I tried archery and then I'm scared of heights, but I saw the trapeze and I was like, I gotta do this. I gotta do it. I gotta conquer my height. So it's this little skinny, literally the ladder is like this and my body's like this. So I'm like crawling up the ladder, crawling up the ladder. And then like they give you the pole. I'm hanging off. There's this little Okinawan. Okinawans are this big. They're really, really skinny. And she's like holding me up. And I'm like, oh gosh, she's gonna drop me. Of course there's a net, but just grabbing the trapeze and just swinging and just I won't do it nothing. But but hang it was so neat. I was like, I never thought that I would do this, especially with me conquering my fear of heights. To do it. And then, it was so fun. When I looked at the video, stiff as a board TM, I didn't want to move. I was like hanging on doing this type of thing. But it was so fun. It was so
Awesome.
fun.
Awesome. You just said fear of heights, fear of heights. As an entrepreneur, as an individual, there's so many fears that plague us, some conscious and unconscious. Outside of
Mhm.
the fear of heights, what's another fear that you've had to overcome as a leader and a business owner?
Fear of failure.
Oh,
For
that's good.
me,
That's good.
yeah, for me, I have a lot on my shoulders. I worry a lot about my kids' future. I've had to come back to my mother's house multiple times throughout my life. Um, now, I say we take care of each other here, but it's a lot resting on me to where if I don't get to where I need to get to, we might live in a cardboard box. So every day it like grips me like, no, I have to do this. Like I have to. And it's a great deal of stress. But at the end of the day, I use that fear of failure to motivate me to keep going. So when I'm up late at night, when I'm like writing extra blogs or on Clubhouse, oftentimes people ask me, why are you on Clubhouse so long? Because I have to be. Like I literally cannot, like I feel like I want to give all this value to people to help them out. But at the same time, it's like I'm hustling because I want to make sure that I secure, income and all these things for me and my family. So I use the fear to motivate me, but it is a great fear of mine that something's going to happen and I'm not going to be able to do this anymore.
I think many of us share, that mindset as entrepreneurs, right? We want to be secure, and we don't want to lack, right? And I think what you just described very eloquently is your why, right? Why you get up in the morning, right? Why you do this. But you also mentioned stress. And, I think stress is something that most of us are plagued by. If you're leading teams, if you're taking massive action, if you're trying to grow a business, how do you handle stress?
I don't think I do. I'll say today was my first time I go out. Like I said, I do what I enjoy. I love cars. So I went to a car meet last night. I literally have, like I did this whole skincare routine today. But stepping away, closing my laptop, cutting my phone off, whether it's watching Real Housewives of Atlanta or walking outside barefoot on the ground. We live in the country. I don't know if you know about the country life, but walking outside barefoot is a thing. Just stepping away. And if I'm really stressed and I need to think, I love going to Yorktown Beach, is literally right around the corner, and just sitting there in my silence and feeling the wind blow on my face and just, letting things just be without just literally without thinking, just sitting there and just I call it high-ing, like and just letting it, take off and just relax.
Yeah, no,
That's what I
absolutely.
do.
But you also exercise, you
Yes.
meditate, you're a very spiritual individual. I'm often thrown off when you pop in sometimes and you sound like a little evangelist.
I've heard that before.
So when you talk about not managing stress, I don't know if that's true because you do a lot of things, I think, to stay whole, right, as an individual, that you may not think of, right, but you do proactively.
Yeah, I do. I do meditate. I do have a very close connection. I do believe, God, Jesus, Holy Spirit, always talking to them, always praying. And the thing that gives me comfort, and you're right, I do have stress practices. The thing that gives me comfort is knowing that whatever happened is going to happen. Like as soon as I let go of control, life got easier. I just kind of literally go with the flow and stop trying to control things. Because when you try to control things, it goes wrong because you're trying to control them versus giving it to your God, your higher power, whatever you believe in. And not only that, controlling things is stressful because it puts a lot on you. If it doesn't happen, then it falls back on you and you feel bad about that. So I'm still working on that, but that is something that the first thing that had to go was like, all right, Rocki, stop trying to control everything because you're going to stress yourself out.
And that's all of us. That's great advice for all of us. Let go, let God. Stop trying to control everything because it takes a whole lot of energy, right?
Yes.
To try to control things, specifically things that are beyond your control. Rocki, give us a 30-second commercial about Social with Rocki as we wind this thing down. And I so appreciate you and all that you bring.
Yeah, no problem. So once again, you guys, my name is Rocki. I'm a social media marketer, Instagram manager, and a Clubhouse influencer. And I own the marketing agency Social with Rocki. So if you are a business owner who is stressed out about your business and you want someone to just take the reins and control your social media, I am the woman for you. Not only do I care about your growth, your brand awareness, I also care about your sales. And that's the marketing piece of this. So I like to help you with your marketing so that you can scale the way that you want, so that you can live the life of your dreams and stop being trapped in a reality that you don't feel like you can attain. So reach out to me if you need the help. I'm super friendly, happy, and motivated to help you thrive in your business.
And she will help you thrive in your business. Ladies and gentlemen, my friend Rocki, this is Leadership on Demand. Let's get social with Rocki. Rocki, thank you so much.
You're welcome.